Hey guys, so for the next, today and tomorrow, I am going to be attending, it's not really treatment, well I guess it is kind of treatment. It's called a retreat. There is a program called Bridgepoint. They usually do, it's a 4-day like retreat that you would go to and you learn different skills and how to like cope with your eating disorder and just, I don't know, just different things to help you out. But since there's all the restrictions on right now, it is going to be a 2-day virtual retreat. So I'm going to attend that. I was planning on doing the 4-day one. That was a couple months ago where I actually go there and like you stay overnight and everything. But like with work and everything, I wasn't able to take time off. But now that it's like the virtual thing and it's only 2 days, I am able to attend it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm doing like well with recovery, but I still feel like just that extra motivation will help me and be able to push me further. Because I tend to, I don't know, like right now I feel kind of stuck, I guess, in recovery, where I think I'm getting like too comfortable with where I'm at, and even just so those thoughts are kind of coming back. I don't know. I feel like I'm attending this at like the right time because I need that little bit of motivation. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that today and tomorrow. That's going to be starting pretty soon. It's going to be long days. It's like from 9 a.m. till 9 at night. And I'm excited to see what they have to offer and what they have to say and what I'm going to be learning these next couple days. And I thought I would share some of that information that I've learned with you guys, anything that I found helpful or I think might be a benefit to you guys. So yeah, this will be interesting. I've never done like a virtual treatment before. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I've heard lots of good things about Bridgepoint. They don't focus so much like we're in hospital and when you're inpatient, it's lots of it is like focused on the food and the weight restoration. But with Bridgepoint, they focus on like the thinking part. So I think that's what I really need to challenge right now, is just my thinking a lot more. But yeah, so that's gonna be started right away, and I will keep you guys updated as the day goes or at the end of the day or whenever I get a chance, but I will let you know how I've found it. And yeah, if you guys are looking into it, if you are from Saskatchewan, it is a free program. I think there is a cost if you are from out of province, but if you're in Saskatchewan, it's covered by like your health insurance. But yeah, usually it's in a place that's like outside of Saskatoon. And yeah, like I said before, it's usually a 4-day retreat. So I think it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you go there, you spend the night, they provide all your meals and everything, and then you have your groups throughout the day and free time and stuff. But yeah, they're cramming all of that into 2 days virtually. So yeah, we'll see how it goes and we'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, so welcome back. So we are just on break right now for lunch. We just to like have a little break from the morning session and prepare our lunch. Then we're gonna come back and meet in a little bit, and we're gonna sit all together with the dietitian and have meal support and our lunch together. But so far, my first impressions of the Bridgepoint, it's pretty good. Right now, like the morning was a lot of like introductions, getting to kind of know each other, kind of getting to know what the program is. They also shared like this kind of analogy, which I've heard before. My dietitian actually had told me about this book, eating in the light of the moon, and it's this log analogy. So we went over that, read it, and kind of discussed that a bit. And what the log analogy is, that's where like you are in a river and you grab onto a log to help save your life, and like that log was there, it's protecting you, it's keeping you from drowning, and you see a shore ahead, and the only way to get to the shore, you need to let go of this log because it's just in your way to be able to swim. You can't, it's taking more energy to like hold onto the log and try paddle with one arm. You need to let the log go and get to the shore. So it can be scary to let go and let go of what has been like saving your life essentially, and like let go to be able to get to safety on shore. So that's basically what the analogy is, and we kind of discussed that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the rest of the afternoon has to offer. Oh, another thing that they brought up, I think we're going to be doing a little bit more talking about like ways to distract yourself, and like when you get that like repeat thinking and constant thinking about whatever it is. And one of the things that they did mention, it might be a good thing to try, especially if you are stuck in your thoughts. They suggested just taking time and walking backwards. That way then your mind is focused on like you walking backwards, keeping yourself like safe, not falling. So then it kind of like takes your mind off of everything else and gets you refocused. So I might have to try that. Maybe if I get into my headlocks, I don't know, maybe it's a suggestion you might want to try yourself too. We'll see if it works or not. I know for me, distractions, I like doing things like painting or things with my hands, or even puzzles. Just, I guess it's the same idea. You're taking your mind off it. But yeah, that's another thing I guess you could try, is walking backwards. But it is pretty close for me to start joining them again for lunch. So yeah, I will go do that, see what this lunch meal support is all about. And yeah, sorry, Kai just knocked my camera off. I don't know, he's like obsessed with like screens and stuff, or my computer or iPad. He likes to come and like paw at it and knock it over. But anyways, yeah, I will go do this lunch support and do the rest of the afternoon after our evening, and we're gonna be doing like self-care for the evening too, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't taken a look at the things that we could choose from to do yet, but I will probably do that. I have a few more minutes before I have to join, so they said kind of look over it and choose one thing for yourself to do, so I will check it over, see what they have, and yeah, we'll see what else this afternoon has to bring. So hey guys, it is the end of the day, end of day one of Bridgepoint, and it was really good. I'm super tired though right now. Even though like everything it was like virtual and online and through video, it's still, I don't know, like even though I'm just sitting there all day, it still drains you. But I did learn a lot. There was lots of like, they're really good at using, I guess, like analogies and stuff that you could, I don't know, kind of relate to and like see things a little bit differently, which was nice. The afternoon we spent time, we talked about our stories and kind of what led up to us joining Bridgepoint for this 2-day retreat, and like we just had to pick like one aspect of our story and share it. So that's kind of hard to pick like one thing out of like all the reasons why and what led you up to like deciding to join. But it was interesting hearing everybody's story, and even though like everybody in our group, like not everybody has the same eating disorder, but like we still have that kind of thing in common. I don't know, even though we each have like different things about our eating disorders, we were all kind of like, I could relate to everybody, like some part of everybody's experience. So it was a good reminder to know that like I'm not alone in this, and just being able to like talk and hear other people's experiences. And the instructors were really good too at like in between everybody's story, they would like make comments and different things, and like there were like really helpful things that they were explaining. But I did take some notes. I might share a few of the things because I'm gonna forget like everything because there is a lot of information. So some of the things that I really liked. Well, one thing they brought out, and which I knew before, was that like you can't recover alone. And what they mean, like not just like you need your supports, like your family or whatever, but also like the purpose of Bridgepoint, we are all in like a group setting, and that's the whole point, because we're with people that understand each other, and we're able to help each other through. And that's why Bridgepoint, it's so focused on groups and being in groups, is because you can't recover alone. You need like that support of other people. Another thing that was kind of good, they talked about, it was 3 things. So feelings, thoughts, and actions. They likened it to like a 3-legged stool. And if you took away any of those legs, either feelings, thoughts, or actions, like it wouldn't be able to stand. They all work together. So you can't just do one thing without the other, which was really good. And there was this example of a kayak. There's 2 scenarios. One where like you'd be kayaking and it was like calm waters and good weather and everything. And then the second scenario was you're kayaking and it's like through rough waters. So which kayaker learns the better skills? The one with the calm water or the one with like the rough waters? And it would be the kayaker that is learning to kayak through the rough waters. They're gonna learn the most skills because they've been through the tough times, and then everything else will seem easier. So it like might seem really awful when you're going through it, and really difficult and hard, just like recovery. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, challenging, but you have to go through those times in order to like, if you go through those times, you know that things are going to get better, and there's a positive in doing it, and a positive, even though it may seem like it's tough. You'll just become a better kayaker in a sense, and learn new skills that way by dealing with the hard stuff and pushing through. Because recovery isn't perfect, it's messy and imperfect, and you're gonna have struggles and you're gonna have setbacks, but you just have to remember that like that is okay. Just think of all the things that you've done to make it this far in recovery. It's been a hard journey, and you've made all these steps. So like, yeah, you've come this far, so you should be proud of yourself. And yeah, everybody has setbacks. And going back to the analogy of the log, they said that you might need to take hold of that log for help. You might need to revert back to those coping mechanisms, and that's okay. It doesn't mean like you're a failure or anything. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you just need to grab hold of that log and those that eating disorder, because that's what you've always stuck to, and that's what you usually go to when coping, and it's okay to do that. And just remember too that you're not going to be holding on to that log forever. Like, you are going to get to the shore, and if you need to grab hold of it, like, do it. That's the way you're going to cope, and it'll just be in that moment. It's not going to be like for the rest of your life that you're going to have to rely on it, but in the meantime you may need to take hold of it, because that's like, in that moment, that's the only thing that is going to help you out at that, or right then. So yeah, you shouldn't feel bad about like falling back. You just have to like get yourself back up after. Like, just know, yeah, it's not gonna be forever, and it just a setback. So I thought that was good, like, just knowing that it's okay, like, if you are struggling, and yeah, it's okay to grab hold of it, and it's not a bad thing. Well, a lot of the times in my treatments, it was always frowned upon, and I was always punished if I did happen to revert back to like old coping mechanisms or whatever. And even if I slipped up one time, like, I would get punished for that. But this was kind of refreshing to like hear this from them, saying it's okay to do that. Well, of course, you don't want to get in a habit of it and do it all the time, because that's what you're trying to get like past. But yeah. What else? Oh, and in our thought patterns, I think I talked about in like another video about like making new paths and ways of thinking. They explained it a little bit differently today, and I thought it was really good. And they said it's just like when you're learning to drive a car, you're like instructed how to do it and you read how to drive, but when you hop into the car, you don't expect to be like an expert driver right away. So it's going to take practice. You're going to have to practice actually driving to be able to like get the hang of it, and then soon it should become like automatic, second nature to you when you're driving. The more you practice, then it just, yeah, becomes easy. You drive, or even just like riding a bike, you just do it like without thinking. And that's just like our thoughts. We need to continue to practice it and put it into practice. We may know and being like told all the time, oh, you need to change your thoughts and ways of thinking, but until you actually put it into practice, it's never going to happen. So you have to practice being mindful and practice creating new pathways, and then just like when you learn to drive, like, it'll just become second nature, and the more you do it, the easier it will become. So yeah, that's kind of what I took out of day 1 of treatment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to day 2. I'm not too sure what's going to be in store for tomorrow. I haven't taken a look at the program yet. but I think they have it online right now. I could check. But anyways, tonight I have a bit of homework to do to bring to group tomorrow. There's like an end of day questionnaire of like, I don't know, basically just checking in, like what you took out of the group today. I don't know, I forget what the other questions were, but like, I don't know, it's like any treatment center, I guess, that you go to. Usually the end of the day, they have like a review of the day and what you got out of it and your, I don't know, strengths, weaknesses, whatever. But yeah, I have that to do, so those questions. And then, oh, what was the other thing? There was another one that I had to do. Oh, what you are gonna give yourself permission to do, and what you like to give yourself permission to do. That's the other thing that I have to work on tonight and have that ready for tomorrow. So I will go work on my homework and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's day 2 of the retreat. It's actually finished now. I waited to the end. There wasn't really much to say in between. I thought I'd like summarize it all at the very end of the day. Technically it's not the end of the day. We're going to be meeting back at 7 o'clock for what they call tea time, and we're going to like share like inspirational stuff and what inspires us and stuff like that, just for a little bit of like encouragement and motivation for everyone. But the actual like retreat and program is over. There was quite a few things that I did write down today. I'm just trying to review it. From this morning, I'm like, what did we learn this morning? This is why I take notes. So one thing that they emphasize, which like I knew before, like you're not your eating disorder, but rather like your eating disorder, it is a set of behaviors you use, and you learn to use these behaviors to cope when you needed it the most, and then these behaviors started to get used for everything, and that's where you start to like see it in your everyday life, and that's where it can get mixed up with like you being your eating disorder, because everything revolves around the eating disorder. But that's not the case. It's that those are the behaviors. So like what you have to do, you have to remove those behaviors, and once you start focusing on something else, then your life slowly starts to, it won't revolve around the eating disorder anymore. And they kind of drew it like there was a straight line and then like a spiral, I guess, and then the spiral just starts getting, you know, like a tornado, like it's smaller at the bottom. So like the more you like your life revolves around it, the more closer it gets to your eating disorder. That's kind of how they explained it to us. And then, oh, and during our like mealtime supervision talk, like with the dietitian, like she was explaining to us that constant like noise in the background where you're like constantly thinking about like food, or that's what your thoughts are, no matter what you do to try stop those thoughts or those behaviors around food, like you're constantly going to have that voice, and you're going to be trying to hold it back and keep it quiet, but you're going to be like white knuckling it. It's not going to go away until you get behind the cause of it. So that's what you really have to like look into, is like why you're doing those behaviors, and like what's the cause of it, what's like the emotional reason maybe that you're doing it, that way of coping. So until you figure that out, you're always going to have that voice behind it, and you need to replace that void. Like once you start figuring this out, like you're going to end up failing if you don't, because you're going to have that void, whether it be a behavior or a thought or whatever. Not having your eating disorder, if you don't have something to replace it with, like it's not going to work out for you. So you need to find that motivation, or that, I don't know, just something else to replace it with, even with your thoughts. Lots of the time, like if you have lots of negative self-talk, what they said, like, when you can't just remove your negative self-talk, that's not going to work. You have to replace it then with the positive one. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. If you're going to have that empty space. So always replacing like your old habits with good ones. The other thing they did mention too, because Bridgepoint, it's not really focused, it's not really food focused, like how inpatient is, and like I don't know, like the mealtime supervision and like all those kind of rules and stuff like it is when you're in an inpatient treatment. But they did stress the importance of getting the proper nutrients and getting refed. Like if you're really malnourished, like they emphasize like you need to get that nutrition in first before you can start working on the other stuff, and before you can start creating new pathways. And that's one of the reasons why too, when you do go for the actual modules and programs, like these are just retreats and you kind of get a feel for the program. It's a self-referred, and then they also have what they call modules, and those can last to, I think it's like about a month, and you need a doctor's referral for those. But like in order to go attend retreats or modules at Bridgepoint, you have to be like medically stable and well to go. So like even though they don't focus on that, they still stress that it is important to be able to feed your mind and feed your body enough, because otherwise treatment isn't going to be helpful. If you're malnourished and not getting in the proper nutrients, your brain isn't going to be functioning properly. So yeah, they did stress that. And the other thing that we talked about a lot this afternoon was self-compassion and learning how to show yourself self-compassion, and not comparing yourself to others, because when you compare to others, then that's worse for like your anxiety or depression. And they really emphasize like each person is unique, and what's unique about one person isn't like greater or less than something that's unique about another person. So each one of us has something different to offer. So like I have something that somebody else might not have, and they have something that I don't. We're all like different. And one of the things that was kind of new to me that they said there is no normal. Like none of us is normal. Lots of people, like when we were talking about like eating, like normal eating, like there isn't a normal or there's not like a normal person, because everybody's different in their own way. Everybody's unique. There isn't like one certain way you should be. So normal isn't really a way that you should be describing other people. And also how we need to show ourselves self-compassion and like give ourselves the care and the help that we need first. Lots of the times people with eating disorders, they have that, well actually I don't know if it's with everybody, but most of the people in my group today, like they show compassion and like want to help other people, and they feel that by putting themselves first, it's selfless or selfish to put yourself first before other people, and like you should be looking after other people's needs before your own. But with self-compassion, you should be putting yourself first. And it's kind of like in an airplane when they tell you like if there's an emergency and the masks come down, like the first thing you're supposed to do is put on that mask to help yourself. And if you don't put on that mask, then you're not able to help other people. Like, so by helping yourself first and showing yourself self-compassion, then you're better able to help other people in the end, instead of constantly giving yourself, because yeah, it's gonna be harder on yourself, and yeah, you'll be able to help out people more if you help yourself first. So yeah, that's pretty much what we discussed today. Just yeah, a lot of self-compassion, a lot about like perfectionism. Not everything has to be perfect, and just yeah, everybody's unique, and even just looking at things day by day, what excellence is one day might look different from tomorrow. So today it could be something different, like I don't know, like accomplishing something different each day. You shouldn't have like those high standards like set every day. Some days might be a little bit less, but you should measure that like day by day, not compare each day. But yeah, overall, my experience at Bridgepoint was really good. And when they are able to do like have the modules again, or have the retreats where you go there and stay, or do like the month program after like everything opens up again, I would definitely like to give it a try. They go into a lot more depth on a lot of these topics. Because this was virtual and it was 2 days only, a lot of it was like really condensed. So like you just got like samples of what like the bigger picture would be. And yeah, what I learned over these past couple of days I found really helpful and encouraging for my recovery. And I think I needed that extra little motivation in between things. So I think it was a great thing. And yeah, and I hope some of the things I shared with you, you might find a little bit helpful too. I know it's not like a huge explanation. I know this video is going to be like super long already, but it's just like some little points that I had jotted down for myself, and we'll probably review later too. And just, that's just like with all my things that I have, all my worksheets and stuff that I've done in the hospital and inpatient, like I'll review them from time to time, because I don't know, it's just a good refresher to go over them. So yeah, that's what I had for my notes for today. And yeah, I get a little bit of free time now this afternoon before we do our tea time. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be like a relaxing evening. Everybody has their tea and just kind of more a chill vibe. I mean, the whole vibe was pretty chill, but yeah. Anyways, I will go. We'll see you guys later.